What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I wanted to talk about a little bit more about Secret of Praetoria, but before we do that, I just wanted to take a look at where the overall land distribution is at as of, well, I guess it's not necessarily August 5th for me, but on the evening of August 4th, but I guess August 5th, what is this? This has got to be UTC. So let's just take a look. You can see that about 5% of land is still not surveyed yet, so about 7,500 plots, and then there's actually not even claimed over 10% or over 15,000 plots. So, you know, all in all, 15% of plots of the 150,000 plots are not yet usable. Now, this could all change once land actually goes live, but you know, there's a chance we haven't seen much movement on these, so we'll have to wait and see what people who are holding these decide to do. But either way, there's still 127,000 plots. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to creep up a little bit more over time. And of those 127,000 plots, the main things I wanted to focus on were the amount of occupied and then the amount of magical. Now, occupied plots, you can see here, we don't have a nice clean percentage of occupied plots, unfortunately, but you can see overall, you know, common occupied, there's 3,400, another 922 rare, 220 epic, and 56 legendary. So overall, if I'm just doing little rough math here, 2.7, what is this, 3.4, maybe 3.5%, right? 3.5% of plots are occupied plots, meaning that they get the 100% or 2x bonus on SPS. Now, magical plots, on the other hand, you can see are significantly higher in quantity. So, you know, just common plots is 9%, another almost 3% for rare, 0.63% and 0.16%. So again, just rough math across all of these. This is probably, well, it's, you know, like 12, 13% in total, maybe even closing in on 14%. Again, just rough numbers. But if we're looking at this and saying, okay, 3.5%, that's good for SPS, about 13% are, you know, or so are optimized for research tokens. This is where I want to talk about the importance of Secret of Praetoria. Now, I did a video, you know, shout out to Gold Matters. I did a video on his request, kind of just speculating on what some ideas I have for Secret of Praetoria are. Again, it's all speculation. I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea when to expect stuff, but my hope and what I kind of want to cover here is that we're going to hear about the benefits for research tokens, specifically the Secret of Praetoria research tokens, before the launch of Land 1.5. And I know that's like in a couple of weeks, fingers crossed. But as you can see here, there's actually a significant amount of plots, 15%, we'll just say almost 15% of plots that are worth going for the tokens, the research tokens, simply because of the fact that you get a 2x multiplier if you go for those tokens as opposed to other resources, right? So SPS or grain on those plots. So in a way, the reason that I'm so big on the research tokens, one is because from a gameplay perspective, I think it's just fun, right? I want to know what's going to be out there. I want to know what the benefits are. And, you know, it sounds like Matt has this long-term vision, so I'm hoping he'll share some bits and pieces and definitely the parts that will incentivize people to go for research tokens, whether or not they have a magical plot. Now, the other reason comes back to the tokenomics, and really not even the tokenomics, but like the financial aspect and the gameplay of this, like the long-term sustainability of the game, meaning that what we need is for people to be chasing something like research tokens, which don't have an immediate and extractable ROI to them, as opposed to grain and SPS, and giving people a reason to go for that. Now, if you get people excited about stuff in the game, we've seen people spend a tremendous amount of money here because they just want to be the best at it, or number one, or in the top tier, or have a title or something. So we know that there's already going to be the prefix titles, but that's only reserved for 7 people, right? And we know that there might be some other benefits, you know, what's that called? White paper mentions some things like airdrops, but if we can get more tangible ideas on that before or right at the start or launch of land, I think that could be really crucial, because my guess is, and again, this is not financial advice, and this is, well, it's not really, I suppose it's a prediction, but I'm not trying to like make a price prediction on anything, but my guess is that obviously at the very beginning, the utilization of land will be very low, meaning that the resources are going to be very low as well in terms of supply, while demand is very high. And what happens when that happens? Well, basic economics says Low supply, high demand, prices go up, meaning the ROI is very good. So I think there's going to be a lot of incentive for people to extract value at that time, which again, I'm not against. You do you, everybody take your ice cream money. I'm not trying to shame anybody for that. But my whole point is that if you can give people a reason, just be like, man, the secret of Praetoria, the game and whatever it's going to be sounds so awesome that I don't really care, right? Like, I'm just going to put my land forward and I'm going to trust that the team's going to deliver some cool stuff, or that they're going to, have whatever they say for research tokens. That to me has so much more value in kind of like the longevity of the game, so that people don't just come in, rush in, and start extracting value from land. Now, at the end of the day, am I against that happening? Not necessarily, because if we can get new players to come in, if we can get the price of SPS, right, the demand for DEC constricts the supply, and all of a sudden people are burning SPS, we can get the price of SPS to moon. That helps everybody, right? And it's great marketing for the game overall, and you'll probably get a bunch of extractors coming in. But if they come in at that time and they see the gameplay is better, the rewards are better, we've successfully combated bots in modern format, and land is out, and there's some cool resources, and land 2.0 it's going to be coming out next, and there's tower defense, all of that stuff I think is going to be highly beneficial. And so by having people come in and want to bring money into the space, again, I know it sounds a little Ponzi-nomics, and actually, let's be honest, it is. But at the end of the day, that's what all games are, right? All Web 2 games want you to spend more money in the game, right? But only Web 2.5 or Web 3 allow you to actually take value back out of the game. You go to all your mobile Web 2 games, you're just spending money on that. But what are you spending money on? Your entertainment. When you go to the movie theaters, right, you don't expect to get, your money back unless the movie's terrible or you have a terrible experience, right? So at the end of the day, if the secret of Praetoria can be this awesome element that adds something to the gamification of land, right? The whole building your own civilization, resource management company, that whole element, the secret of Praetoria research tokens are going to be where it's at, because SPS, you can dump it. DEC, well, not DEC, but grain, you can dump it, right? So there's going to be a whole economy tied around land. We know that already. But the X factor and the most important thing are going to be the research of Praetoria tokens. And it's actually exciting to see that we have more than 10% of land actually incentivizing people to do that. Now, whether or not people get a head start and decide that they want to go right away for research tokens, maybe they do, maybe they don't. But my hope is that we will at least see, of all of the new land, if you have a magical plot, you will be going for those research tokens from day one. But I would actually like to hear from you. If you have a magical plot, is there a strong chance that you would actually not go for research tokens simply because you are thinking like the ROI on SPS or grain is going to be higher, and that you'll switch to magical resources later, you'll switch to research tokens later with your magical plots? That's actually a question that I have for folks. Again, that's more of like what game are you going to play? Are you going to try and go for the ROI? Or are you going to try and get a head start on the research tokens? But, like I said, I think it's great that at this point in time, we're seeing 10+% of land be dedicated to that. My hope is that we see a lot more. But in terms of overall, if you saw the land stream with Virus and Darkest Night, I actually think from a percentage standpoint, right, if you just look at individual land plots, I wouldn't be surprised if half or maybe even more than half of the plots are farming grain, but with lower level production points. Whereas the occupied and magical plots, those are having a tremendous amount of production points put onto them just to maximize the output from those. And therefore, the grain that's being worked is going to, kind of supply that, and therefore we'll need more than half of the land working grain. But it's going to get really interesting. This whole economy is going to be very dynamic, and I think what's awesome is that this is going to be the backdrop, right? It's going to be the backdrop for what the card game actually is, what Splinterlands actually is, which is the card game. So, overall, I'm very excited for land. You could probably tell, but at the end of the day, I really think it comes down to the research tokens, and I hope we get some information on them before the launch of land, which, again, if land is launching in the next 4 weeks here, I'm recording this on August 4th, it's less than 4 weeks before August 31st. If it's launching then I'm hoping that we're going to get some information in the next couple of weeks. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.